You speak to Connie?
Yeah, when I spoke to Connie, I said I could probably answer his questions, and he asked me about that, and I said, yeah, I have a message out to him, but so he knows.
We didn't get him.
Right.
What other messages did he want to know?
If we had spoken to Runcie recently.
Who?
Runcie, Superintendent Runcie.
No, I have not.
And that's what I told him. I said, to the best of my knowledge, we haven't sent him anything recently. So.
Okay, so see if we can get an appointment to speak to Rumsey.
He wanted us to send a letter.
What?
He wanted us to send a letter.
To him?
Yeah.
To Rumsey?
Yeah, so maybe you should speak to Connie about what he wants.
Okay. First, let me tell you that I couldn't get to see any of those.
Okay, this will work right off of a DVD. You know, you just or even in a TV, you could pop that in and it would just run. That runs off of a computer after you've translated it over, right?
But I can't translate it over.
That's okay. Well, there's probably a problem on my side then.
Well,
Initially,
I don't have this. You're using.
Oh, you got to have QuickTime, right?
I don't have
right.
QuickTime.
This right here is an audio CD. You can listen to it in your car. And that's something you already created, and I'm just saying, I still think it's good. You were good 3 years ago.
This one I like better than.
Isn't that great?
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. This one we can throw out.
Okay. See, this is progress.
Right by your thing.
There we go.
All right. Now what's on
Okay.
your agenda?
Well, I'm glad to hear that Bruncie's on the agenda. Well, in a sense, just checking in, seeing how it's going with Runcie. Jeff had a very good question. He understands that you're wanting to. The way he puts it is, it's like melding computers with Maria Montessori.
Yeah.
So can I?
Sure.
So Steve tells me that some time ago that you came up with the idea for distance education.
I did.
On a large scale.
Well, that's what saved the university.
That's big. So what do you think about now? What do you think about sort of computer-based learning programs in high schools? What do you
more
think?
and more. Just last night I read some more. Well, I was waiting to listen to the end of that. And more high schools are providing opportunities because Florida has a free high school.
Mm-hmm.
So more and more high schools are using that as a way of saving some money because it costs nothing for a student to enroll.
Florida Virtual School?
In the virtual schools. So some schools are making them take at least one course, some are taking 2 courses, and it lets them learn how to deal with distance education, etc. So what you're looking at is the Model T Ford for this education coming that way. MIT now has all their program on, and you can take it without credit, or you have to pay if you want credit.
Right.
But it's available. Harvard, the second institution, Harvard's now doing the same thing. So if MIT and Harvard start doing it, you're going to have more Kaplans and more of that stuff. So
in terms of could I go on to Harvard's website, enroll in one of these classes, pay X amount of dollars, and
as soon as they're ready to do that, yes.
But MIT, I can do that, yes.
MIT is already there.
But if I continue to, is there a progression course within these courses where I could get a degree from MIT, or is it a certificate that they would give me?
I can't answer those questions, but I do know that you can take a course for credit and pay them the tuition, or just teach yourself without them.
I think interestingly, this type of learning could be really good for sort of take away from advanced placement courses in high schools. and the IBO program, which is the International Baccalaureate, which kind of where you end up taking early level high school, the university courses. So then you go in as a second semester sophomore, sometimes even a junior.
Oh, sure.
Because you've taken that credit.
You can do that now. If you were talking about high school, you can do that in Florida's virtual high school.
Right.
Oh, wow. See, that makes perfect sense.
All done. All done. And the V School Z has all the advanced placement courses available. And that's the group that's in Coral Springs.
Okay.
It's called V School Z.
School Z.
Yeah, it's in Coral Springs.
Huh.
And they are doing this. They are doing that even now. In fact, they're looking to market their stuff.
Do you think, in terms of computer-based, you're looking at, Steve's kind of mentioned some things, you're looking at doing it on a small school, high school level at first, and then on a large school, high school program, hopefully?
The virtual high school is there for the whole state.
Right.
So it can't be small.
Right.
I think he's talking about the iZone, the
The
innovation.
V School Z is selling their software. High school software. Actually, they're K-12. They're selling all their software and making it available to schools. And they'll come in and even help your teachers integrate it into the fabric of their instructional process. And that's been funded through Wayne Heisinger, and it's 4 years in development.
But do you have to, now what is your contact with the physical site of a high school then? Must you go to the physical high school?
As a student?
No.
As a
Do
student.
it at home.
But then doesn't that defeat the reason, doesn't that defeat the basic reason behind public education?
It's public.
No. Isn't, that is true, touche. Isn't the whole reason of public education is that when we got to the point where children could not work and child labor laws went away, we needed some place to house children, so therefore we created schools to house children on a mass level?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. It grew when the Industrial Revolution came and people left the farms where they had one-room schoolhouses and went to the city. And what the city did was, whoa, what am I going to do with all these kids? So they grouped the kids
By age.
by age. So if you were 6-year-olds, you went into the first grade. And we created these boxes. We started in September and we ended in June. Why? Because they went back to the farm to go to work and help their parents, if they had parents, etc. So it grew out of a need for kids to get educated so that they can leave the farm and take part in the Industrial Revolution that was taking place in the cities.
But wasn't it also didn't it also serve as like a holding center for kids during the day while their parents went to work?
No, they had to go to school.
Okay.
They did have places where they were holding cells, but that had nothing to do with public education.
I sort of mean it figuratively. I mean, I guess one of the
keep them off the street.
So my understanding, and I could be wrong. This is just the way I've kind of looked at it, is that public education developed as a way to, at a time when we were seeing a large explosion in population.
In the cities.
In the cities.
Yes.
And a way to deal with, educate one, yes, but two, as a way to kind of create this sort of structured society that we were moving towards. Because when was the real rise of public education?
Early 1900s.
In the 1900s, which also coincides with the rise of
industrial change, right?
Right, but also at that time, eugenetics, things about that we could really change the course of the way the world works by changing.
Social engineering.
Social engineering was happening at that time too.
Yeah, but primarily, remember, we were an agrarian country. All of a sudden, we moved from the mainly agrarian to an industrial, and then we produced food in much larger quantities because we now had the machines to do it, instead of the human labor. So the kids didn't have to stay home in the farm. They went to the cities. But now we had the kids in the cities.
Right.
So we created an industrial model.
Right. But what are the kids supposed to do who are not going to school? They
went to school from September to June.
Right.
Right.
Then they went home to help their parents back on the phone.
But now they're not in school under this distance model.
Right now, if you wanted to enroll in the virtual